What's up guys, it's Irish, and today I want to talk about a movie that I saw recently. You're probably guessing from the title what it is pretty easily. Yeah, I saw The Final Destination, and this is basically a horror movie, and the story behind it is this guy has visions that he's going to die at a racetrack one time with his friends, and because of that vision that he had, he managed to convince them all to get out. And he convinced them and a few other survivors to get out, and they ended up surviving the crash that was going to happen and would kill lots of people in the racetrack. And then they started to get killed off right after they survived. And so basically it's a story that like they cheated death and death is coming to get them basically. And it really made me think, this movie, because I mean I was just thinking to myself, after I watched it, I was, it wasn't very scary at all. It wasn't even that great a movie, but it really does make you think. And I love movies that make you think, like Inception, Source Code, The Adjustment Bureau, those kind of movies that make you think. I love those kind of movies, and The Final Destination actually made me think. I mean, if you think about it, like any situation you're in, it could be potentially fatal. I mean, after watching it, I went out on my trampoline and I started thinking, how could I die in this situation if this was the final destination? Then I just thought, what if one of the springs on the trampoline breaks and I fall through and smash my head off the ground and kill myself? I mean, it's a horrible thing to be thinking about, but you know, it's crazy that something like that could happen. And it actually could, very easily. Anything can happen in any situation. And I can't help now but thinking, any situation I'm in, I always think to myself from now on, how could I die if this was Final Destination? It's terrible, because you start to realise, like, it really makes you, like, stop taking life for granted, if you know what I mean. Because you start to realise how easy somebody can die in any possible situation. Like right now, I'm just sitting in my room, right, looking at the laptop, watching this gameplay with the MP5 on Ambush, and I'm just thinking to myself, how could I die right now? I'm looking up at my roof. What if my roof cracks and it falls through and crushes me on my bed? Huh? What if my TV blows up right now, which is showing 2.5 Men right now? I have it muted. But what if it blows up and kills me? What if it sets fire to my entire room and I die? It's so bad to be thinking about this kind of stuff, but still, it's just crazy. I mean, look at the situation you're in right now. If you're watching this, you're obviously on a computer somehow, and I mean, how could you die in the situation you're in right now? Just think about it. I guarantee you'll come up with a good few different ways, and be inventive about it. Oh god, this really isn't going the way I thought. I'm telling you all to think of ways that you can die in any way. But yeah, it really make me, like, if you think about it very closely, I mean, you need to take life for, you need to take every day like it's your last, really. And I mean, the movie really struck a chord with me. I mean, they weren't trying to strike a chord with anyone, I don't think. I think it was just a normal, just horror movie storyline. But when you think into these things, I don't know, I always overthink movie storylines and stuff within movies, and I just came up with this. And the movie itself, it wasn't actually that good. I didn't enjoy it that much. I mean, it was pretty bland. It was a very short movie as well. It was only like an hour and 10 minutes. And I know that sounds long, but it's actually not. That's very, very short for a movie. Most movies are an hour and a half or 2 hours or something. So I wasn't expecting it to be good since it was so short. But I'm not sure. I mean, I keep thinking every situation now. I mean, I might sound repetitive, but I mean, I just can't stop thinking about situations and near-death experiences that I've had that may have actually ended my life. Maybe it was part of the plan, for me to die at any given situation. And maybe I cheated that, and maybe it's coming for me later on in life, who knows. I mean, near-death experience, I've probably had like one or two. I mean, people can have near-death experiences without even realizing it, because you mightn't think it's a near-death experience, but you'd be very, very surprised. I mean, if you say you're like very, very high in the air or something, and you're on a platform or something, and you step out and you nearly slip, but you manage to stop yourself, that's a near-death experience in my view. Because if you fell, you would have died. That's a near-death experience in my point, like, you know, in my opinion. And two of my near-death experiences. First, when I was when I was in primary school, I used to walk to primary school. It wasn't very long. It was like a 2-minute walk or something from my house. It was very, very close. And I remember one day I used to stay after school with one of my friends, and we'd just kick around football and stuff. And we were staying after school, and then it was time for him to go. So usually when he went, I'd go as well, since there was no reason for me to be at the school any longer. So one day, when he left, I was saying goodbye to him as he went, and then like I was walking backwards up the road, kind of just saying bye bye, and then I turned around and a car basically just, it hit me on the side of my leg, and I was so lucky I barely got past the car, and I went up onto the bonnet of it. Now, I mean, the car wasn't going that fast, it was going very slow actually, but you'd be surprised how badly and brutally somebody could die from such a slow car moving. And yeah, I was very lucky. I went up onto the bonnet and everything, but then I was just kind of like whoa, and I just walked up the rest of the way. I didn't say anything about it. I just completely ignored it. And that was a very close near-death experience. I mean, that frightened the life out of me, especially because I was like 10 years old and I didn't really understand what the hell just fucking happened. And when I was 12, one day I was on my trampoline. I love trampolines, by the way. I'm 15 now. I still use a trampoline for exercise. Like, how good is that? Because it really is good for you. Anyway, one day I was on my trampoline as a 12-year-old, and I was doing, you know, I was just bouncing around on it, no big deal. And I like to show off on trampoline a bit. I'm a bit of a show off when it comes to trampoline. I like to do like front flips and land on my feet and everything. And I used to do it all the time, no problem. Just front flip, land on my feet, no big deal. But one day I tried it, and nobody was home. It was just me in my backyard, completely like alone. And I was bouncing around. We had a net up at this point. I don't have a net anymore. And it's actually safer, because the net ended up nearly killing me, as you'll hear in a minute. I did a front flip. I landed on my feet, but I don't know, I must have flung forward or something. I can't really remember it, because I flung forward and all I remember is heading towards the metal pole, which didn't have any padding on it. And when I woke up, there was a bump on my head. I was bleeding, and it was 2 hours after I remember getting on the trampoline. So I was basically knocked unconscious for 2 hours. And it was just fucking crazy. I mean, that may not be a near-death experience, but I mean, I could have died very easily. I mean, what if that had have connected a lot better? What if I had just completely, like, hurt my brain or something? I mean, what if it had smashed my skull in and pierced my brain, the pieces of my skull or something? It's so terrible, but I mean, seriously, anything could have happened there, and I was lucky that all I got away with was a bump and a little bloody head, and I was fine. I just went inside and sorted myself out, got a shower, cleaned myself and everything. I was fine. I never actually mentioned it to anybody though. I didn't see it as anything wrong, but recently, after watching Final Destination, it just came into my mind again. Guys, I was glad I got to do this commentary about that, because you know, I've been getting a lot of feedback lately. I'm noticing a lot more likes, a lot more comments, so thank you for that. This has been Irish. Peace. I'll see you next time. Bye.